Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Anime on Draft. And I forgot to mute the stream, so I was hearing myself double, and it was really confusing.
I was wondering why you paused there. You're
I was
just
like,
like,
oh
welcome
crap,
to
did
Anime
we
on
lose
Draft.
him?
No, I had to like process in my mind what was going on. I'm like, I'm hearing echo. Where am I hearing echo from? It's probably because I didn't mute the stream, and that was exactly what it was. But it wouldn't be an episode of Anime on Draft without some technical difficulties. We're good now, though. I'm hosting this week. Name's Drew. Got Rolando and Alec joining me today. It's a Monday. It's starting a little bit later than usual, but got a pretty jam-packed episode for you today. Let's start off with what everybody's drinking. Alex is a blast from the past. You may recognize it from last week, perhaps.
There we go.
There it
Brewer's
is.
The
Bridge.
Brewer's Bridge.
I was like, come
Yeah.
on. The impossible to show bottle.
So if you missed his rating and reaction to that last week, make sure you check out one of our VODs because we go over it there, and Mark's in there too, talking about it. So
Right here.
yeah, he's not joining us this week, but hope to have him. Hope to have him back next week. But in terms of us, Rolando, it looks like you're drinking a Kinnegar Coco Joe Porter.
Yep.
There it is. And I got myself a somewhat familiar beer, but different, the Mega Spaceways. So it is the Spaceways, but instead of it being a normal hazy IPA, it is a hazy DIPA. So they just amped it up a little bit.
They brought it to the next level.
Does that mean it's juicier or does it mean it's hoppier?
It's both, actually, and we'll actually get into that in a little bit. But before we jump into the beers, we cracked them open, be sipping on them, but we'll jump into our first anime segment of the week. Let's jump into B-Stars. So I thought, another good episode, a little bit more action-packed this week. We got Lugosi diving full force into the... I can't remember the name of the mafia, but the lion mafia.
Shishigumi.
The Shishigumi.
Shishigumi.
I know because I keep saying Shinsengumi every time they show up. I'm like, this isn't Rurouni Kenshin.
Diving full force into the lair to save Haru. Get some help along the way with Panda Bro. So overall, pretty good episode.
Panda
Lack
Bro.
of Lewis this week too. I think you get him in there for like a couple of seconds, but nothing too crazy. But overall impressions from this week, guys?
I enjoyed it. I was a little bit, I don't know if disappointed is the right word, but it wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be. It was enjoyable, but it was just, I don't know, main protagonist runs in building, beats up a bunch of people when he's been so timid. I understand he had help from the panda, so it's a little better than him like going Super Saiyan in there on his own, but he still kind of just ran in there and took on all these mobster lions who should have guns and didn't, and then he managed to overpower one and shoot him in the ear, and I don't know, and he's high on Haru. Like, man, that's some drugs right there. It's just weird to me. So.
You think, like, I think there's like when they say they're made up of like 35 badass lions, you think like these 35 badass lions would be able to take out one high schooler and like
Right.
a buff panda.
And a buff panda.
Have you guys not seen like a K-drama or like whatever? Like this is
John Wick.
this typical fare. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the action's like John Wick. Like it's just supposed to be, the good guy is supposed to win.
Yeah, I just, it didn't feel fitting for the show. It was just like, okay.
It was kind of. I think you probably don't like it because it was like too easy, right? It's just like
It was too
one
easy,
minute
and I
he's
didn't
like-
feel like there was any build up. He was just like, where is she? Where is she? Oh, I'm kicking ass. Look, I'm here. Oh.
I don't know. I kind of feel like the episode for me, I felt like the episode was like a good pace because there was like all of this action going on, and it kind of culminated in the whole scene with Haru and the like she sees Lugosi in her mind, and then she fights back, and then he's the one that shows up. I don't know. It felt like typical like drama climax, but I kind of liked it.
I mean, that's
I
a
thought it
fair.
was-
Yeah,
I liked the end that you're talking about. It was all the middle part that I didn't.
That you didn't like.
Yeah, like in the
yeah.
house.
Her writing the will and then like almost willing Lugosi like
Oh.
into that situation. I thought that
Wow.
was like I thought that was like a super good transition. Like everything, I kind of agree with you, Alec. Everything leading up to that felt like kind of rushed, and it was like you knew it was going to happen, so it was kind of anticlimactic. But when you cut to Haru and like her writing down this will, and then him jumping in at the right moment to kind of save her. Um, Also with like the kind of juxtaposition, it's like her in her head where like everything's like blacked out, and then you can still kind of see the outline of like what's actually happening to her, which is like super creepy.
Mhm.
I thought that was really well done.
I also enjoyed how at the end their interaction is still just super awkward. And it's not all of a sudden like, oh my God, you're here, and like this huge shift. They were
She's like,
still
"Why the
really
fuck are you here?"
uncomfortable. Yeah, she's like, why are you here? And he's like,
Yeah.
wear my school uniform, please. I don't want to see
Yeah.
you naked.
Sorry, it smells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, it's stinky. And then he gets socked in the face. So that I enjoyed. I was like, I'm glad that dynamic they kept similar.
Yeah, him turning into a hero doesn't like automatically turn him into like this like super Chad. He's still, you know,
You still an
Hello,
idiot.
Haru.
yeah.
Plus
Hello
two
and
ultra.
welcome. I mean,
I thought Haru's like her backstory deal and how she basically was like born into this life like disadvantaged just because like of her I want to say it's because of her species, but I would say that would more equate to like her race and or class. If we were talking about like real life equation, and how like she feels like she has this power when she is being promiscuous, and it makes sense. Like this is her strength, right? Because like she has like what people want. They find her cute, they find her beautiful, and she feels like this is her way of like being on equal standing. And I thought they did a good job of kind of like portraying her thought process behind it, because all she was told her life was like, like, you're super weak,
I'll help you.
and then she became she came into her own by being like promiscuous. I thought it was just an interesting you know, like dynamic, I guess.
well, it adds a ton of depth to her character, right? Like before, you just think of her as like this whore, like you know, I mean, sorry.
I just wasn't expecting that. Not saying you're wrong, but definitely wasn't expecting
but right,
that.
it adds like a ton of depth. It adds a ton of depth to her character, right? Because you can tell like that's I think the word you used was like equalizer. That's like the perfect word for that, because it like puts everyone on the same level. You know, whether they be like a carnivore or like a big herbivore or you know whatever. For that moment in time, they're you know equal, which
They're
is
both naked.
awesome. What is my cat doing? It's like going crazy over there. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was like super important to her character because you know, before we go into it thinking, you know, promiscuous, you know, house wrecker sort of deal, to this where it's like, oh, like you kind of understand, you kind of empathize with her position too, because you know, what would you do in that situation if you wanted to be stronger, or you wanted to be on equal footing with, you know, others?
Or seen as someone who has value. It almost looked like they all looked down on her, like she can't carry anything. Everyone has to do things for her. It's almost like if you were treated that whole way, you would feel like her. You wouldn't have value, or you'd feel like, well, I can't do anything. I can't bring anything to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to take the power back.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
You do you?
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah. But then that's gonna be interesting how she'll feel with, because Lugosi's taken it like at 180. Normally, if she goes after someone, they just kind of jump in bed with her, and now he's like, no, 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 no. So it's like, now is she gonna start to demand more like attention or equal relationships without having to go sleep with everybody, and just be like, I can get that without this means, you know? So it'll be interesting, because it seems she's having that realization in her head as she was writing her will and willing Lugosi to save her, stealing your words.
I still think she ends up dead. I still think she like Lugosi's gonna end up killing her. Like, and you can kind of see it too, like when he's barging in and like loses control with like instincts take over. He mentions like, she's my prey. I just feel there's gonna be like some ultimate event that triggers that again. She's gonna be in the room, and you know, a couple bites later, and no more Haru. Yeah. So. Well,
we'll have to see.
We will have to see. We're getting close to the end. This was a good one. I
think it's still ongoing, the manga, though. So it'd be curious to see if it goes for like the potential continuation, or if it's anime original.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then I'm gonna go read it, because I want to know what happens.
I feel like there's like a bunch of like, they could still touch on like a ton of characters too, because I know like a lot of the art I see his roommate the dog, like the golden retriever, like I see him in a lot of places. There's a lot they can do with what's her name, Juno, is that the female wolf?
Yeah, the girl wolf.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot left, so wouldn't be disappointed for more, for sure. And the Haru arc. Lugosi goes to jail. Next character.
Goes to jail and eats another rabbit.
Ooh.
Who ate
He's got the
rabbit.
taste now.
Oh yeah, he's gotten the taste
hunger
for it, the hunger. It's like that It's Always Sunny episode where they
exactly.
where they thought they ate human meat. Just they had like a parasite from a raccoon.
I bet you idiot's raccoon.
I always remember that episode. I saw just a side note. When one of the years I volunteered at Comic-Con, I was working in the room where they premiered. I think that was like the second season or something of It's Always Sunny, and I saw that full episode just while I was working, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
I miss Always Sunny. I haven't watched it in a long time, but like the first couple seasons are just like banger show after banger show. It was so funny. I don't know about any of the recent, but yeah.
It's still going pretty strong, I think.
I never watched.
Still on FX, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. You should watch it, Alec. At least watch like the first like 4 seasons.
Yeah, like especially like even just like the first and second season, and it's like a stupid show that you could just put on like whenever, and you don't need to like, once you know the characters, you pretty much got everything that you need, and it's just like ongoing.
I've seen some of them.
You know Dayman and Green Man, right?
No.
Dayman and Green Man, yeah.
No. I just know the implications. I know that episode.
The dentist system is good.
The boat one.
The boat one is so good.
You know, because of the implications. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that one's funny.
Anyway, this is an anime show. So,
no live action here.
Yeah, but anything else you want to bring up for Beastars? I think we kind of covered what I wanted to talk about.
I don't have anything.
All right.
No.
Cool. So Alec, we're gonna probably omit you. Well, I guess let's start with you, since you had this beer last week. Any thought changes having it now versus then, or any differences on your beer?
He hates
it. Yeah, it's awful. Now that Mark's not here and he really liked it, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. It's shit. No, it's really
no
good
longer
still.
a 4.75.
It's just good. I enjoy it as much as I did last time. It's solid. It's drinkable.
Fair enough.
It's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Rolando, I'll let you go next. You have the Kinnegar Cocoa Joe Porter. The
I
head
do.
looks to have settled down.
Yeah, if you noticed, I was pouring the can as we were discussing Beastars and just like letting it slowly dissipate. But yeah, it's very dark. Got a nice kind of, I guess, beige head.
Yeah.
There's not much from the actual nose. I don't know if that's just because I can't really breathe right now, but I don't know.
Go get
There's
some
like
breathe rights.
I probably need some because I haven't been able to breathe properly with like allergies.
Should we
lately.
all require that on the show now? All right, everyone, put on your breathe rights.
It
All
does
take 'em
help.
off.
Like,
it really
honestly.
does. Yeah, I was at Costco the other day and I bought some.
I feel like even with those, they wouldn't really get anything from this. There's just not too much in terms of like aroma, but the actual taste. It tastes like a porter. I think that's good. There is a hint of coconut in there. I'm not really getting too much coffee. It's just like a hint of it there, but it's just the not so much roasty flavor of malt. It's like more like along the lines of like toasty, and the coconut is just kind of there like as an an accent at the end. It's not really like that really fake. You know that fake coconut
Ugh,
flavor,
worst.
like
Hate
when you have the really poorly barrel aged beers. This is more of like you could tell that the coconut was like part of the brewing process. I really wish that there was a bit more of the coffee note. I want to say that it's just being overpowered, but I don't know because like it tastes like a porter, and then there's like the accent of coconut, but like I'm not really getting the Joe part of the Cocoa Joe if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sounds interesting though. It's from a brewery from Ireland, I think.
Yes, from Kinnegar.
I looked that up correctly.
Yes, I believe it's pronounced Kinnegar, not the way Mark tried to pronounce it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
But yeah, it's pretty basic: water, barley, hops, coconut, coffee, and yeast. There's not really much more to say about it. It's not trying to be too special or too over the top, but like we get like everything is like over the top nowadays.
Yeah.
This is not even remotely close to over the top.
Just like our conversation last week about how red ales or amber ales are disappearing. Now everything has to be over the top. Can't just be basic, solid, good.
Well, you want an over the top beer. This beer that I'm drinking is kind of over the top. I don't know if you guys have seen like the modern times, like they like update versions of some of their beers. So like they did a double dry hopped version of the Bloomin' Rollers, which I had. If you like IPAs, I highly recommend that because it's like super aggressive IPA flavor with a little bit of citrus notes. And then you have this thing, the Mega Spaceways, and I don't know if you all saw it, but this is one of the hazier ones that I've seen. It almost looks like a Hefeweizen. Super hazy, but it takes Spaceways and it like enhances it to a level that like I super enjoy about these hazy IPAs because it ups the hops. So the hops are super aggressive. It's now a DIPA, I think, as I mentioned earlier. So the hops are super aggressive, and they're the type of hops that are like super woody and piney. So we have like Nelson, Motueka, and Simcoe. Some of my more favorite hops. So there's that, and then they up like the hazy, juicy kind of level too. So it's like more aggressive, but the balance is still there from like the normal Spaceways. So I'm super enjoying this. 8% alcohol. I thought it was going to be worse for a DIPA. I thought it was going to be like in the 9, getting close to 10%. So it's not like too aggressive.
It's almost
but
there.
just yeah. It's but it's super super drinkable. If you want like a more aggressive hazy with like that piney sort of note flavor on top of the juice, I
Juice.
highly recommend. This is good.
Juice.
Blame it on the juice, dude.
Yeah,
That's right.
always.
Thanks, Lizzo. um, so I guess we can rate these. Alec, do you remember what your rating was last week for this guy
4.75.
that you had? 4.75. So super super good.
Stays
I'm interested
as a
interested
4.75.
in trying that one.
It's good.
Rolando, what are you thinking for your Coco Joe?
3.25.
3.25. Average.
Average. It's not like amazing, but I do wish it had a bit more of the coffee flavor.
Fair enough. For me, the Mega Spaceways gets a 5. Yeah, this is. I think I rated Spaceways a 5 too. Or it was either a 5 or 4.75. But I like this better than Spaceways.
You mega like it better?
I mega like it. So, yeah, it's man. I didn't think you could top the Spaceways for like this style of beer because I thought that was like close to perfection. This is like super good.
And then they doubled it.
And
They said, "What if you had
They
twice as
literally-
much?"
They literally doubled it. I can even read this yoked out version of one of our beloved seasonal IPAs was turned up to an 11 and stuffed with unreasonable quantities of Nelson, Motueka, and Simcoe hops, yielding a lupulin laden juice beast that explodes with glorious notes of stone fruit, lime zest, and tropical magic. It's complex, shocking, quaffable, and yours for the day, or yours for the taking. Seize the day. Carpe. They dropped a carpe diem at the end of
Oh,
that.
Man, you may have missed.
Carpe or
you may have
Cape?
struggled saying something, but it's still not as bad as Mark. So,
You know.
Next Violet Evergarden.
So this is, I'm pretty sure this is a limited run because it's a seasonal and then it's a limited on top of a seasonal. So if you can get this or even the double dry hopped Bloomin' Rollers, either one of those, they're updated versions and they're delicious.
Okay, hand.
Okay,
hand.
hand.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next? We got our news break. So let's jump right into it. First piece of news. I'm kind of happy about this because I kind of had to stop watching Azure Lane because the animation quality was so bad. The hype of the battles could not redeem some of the atrocious scenes that were getting dropped. But Azure Lane anime episodes 11 and 12 are delayed until March. They're hoping to improve the anime's quality when they start rerunning next January. So I hope they get, like, if they take a whole year to improve the animation quality, I would hope it would be better.
It's not a year. It's a season.
January is like, oh,
January is in a couple of weeks.
I'm stupid. I read March in here, and I'm thinking
2021.
Yeah, I'm like, we're in March right now, so we're going all the way back to January. But still, a long time to delay. Anyway. So there's that. Next, we kind of talked about this before, but Promare had some reruns in U.S. theaters, and some, I guess, kids thought it would be a good idea to scream and yell during it. Rolanda, you posted these, and I know you have some pretty strong opinions about it. You want to kind of go through that?
Yeah, some of these posts, like one of them was from the Anime Man, that I don't know if anybody here listens to or watches his YouTube channel, but basically there's this thing Right now it's Premiere Redux, so they've got it back in theaters to second run. And in Japan, there are specific cheer screenings. Like this is like how they do it. Like they know people are going to come back and rewatch and they want to, like cheer on for it. So they have specific screenings that are set for cheer. Like it's like you can talk and cheer in the movie.
They go in to cheer a movie?
Don't ask me, man.
Okay. Just checking
like,
here. This isn't something.
I don't know. Like this is stuff that Japanese otaku do, I guess. But like they have specific screenings that are for this, and so what a lot of, I don't know how many. I'm just putting it out there. But what some people are trying to do is they're taking like the cheer guidebook from the Japanese cheer screenings and just cheering during all the screenings in the West, like with no regards, because we don't have cheer screenings. They're just yelling.
That's not a thing we do.
Yeah, they're just yelling during the screenings, and there are people that are watching it that may have heard, oh wow, Premiere is good, I'm gonna go watch it, and they're getting spoiled by plot points and shit that's happening in the movie because people are just screaming in the movie. And obviously just being disruptive. We talked about this when we watched Premiere when it was during its first run back in October, and we were complaining about people screaming during the movie because they had seen it at Anime Expo. And I don't know what to say, guys. Like, can we not do this?
Don't be that person. It's like one of the things that I would like to do recently, and we kind of discovered this when we started watching, like we went and watched what's her name, Ionetti, and we went and watched Premiere and a couple of these other movies, and it was nice to like sit in a somewhat empty theater with a huge screen and like a big sound system and just like in silence enjoy this. And then one of the things I hate about the movies is exactly what you described, is the screaming and yelling. Like I can't watch a horror movie like in the movie theater because you just get yelling the whole time and screaming. It's like not good, and like a whole bunch of other things. So it's like I go to the movies, I want silence, enjoy. But some people, I guess, because they're in high school or want to impress their friend group that they went with, decide to scream.
I don't know. It could also just be culture. Because when I went to the Philippines in high school, I saw Peter Jackson's King Kong in a theater there, and people were just straight talking about the movie, like in the theater. I don't know what, like I don't know if it was just that one instance because I've only done it once, but I think like maybe different groups of like social groups may find it okay, but in general, it's very frowned upon to disturb other people's viewing experience when you're at a movie theater.
Yeah.
It's not your place to chat and meme.
And it's one of those things, even if you're used to it, like let's say you are from Japan and you're used to having these cheer screenings, you're not in Japan. I'm sorry, but it's a different culture, and part of going to somewhere with a different culture is respecting that culture. Even if you've been here for a long time and you're like, well, I am part of the culture. Well, part of the culture is being silent in the movie theater and letting people enjoy it. If you want to scream and cheer and shout by the movie, scream and cheer and shout at home.
Yeah. Also, like these cheer screenings are separate from regular screenings in Japan.
Right.
So none of those otaku are doing this in regular screenings. Only for the cheer screenings, because they know everyone there has seen it and want to, just have a good time.
Like yell with your friend. It's probably like stress relieving too, right? You get to like scream at a screen like for something that you like. Like that's cool, but that's what that's designed for. We don't have that here, so don't do that.
Don't do that.
Time
or
and place.
Go on Reddit and get a huge following of people to go all buy tickets to the same show at the same theater,
buy it out,
and just be like, this is what we're here for. And if you go there and you happen to be the one unlucky person who didn't know that 200 people were showing up to just scream, sorry. That sucks. Ask for a refund.
Yeah. All right. I think enough of that. Don't yell in the movie theater is the takeaway.
Don't.
Don't do it. Up next, Kanojo Okurishimasu anime will air in summer 2020. I think Rolanda, you added this one.
Yeah.
Is this something we're looking forward to?
This is something I know Mark's looking forward to. He keeps talking about this manga to me, and I've read the first few chapters of it, and it's like it's it's piqued my interest at least. I find the main character to be kind of annoying, but it's a romance, like a shonen romance. So of course they're gonna be like
Annoying.
just yeah, annoying. But he does say it gets really good, and it's been going on for a while. Like this manga has like, I want to say, I don't know how many chapters, but it's definitely in the hundreds. But yeah, I'm sure
Cool.
he's really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Very cool. Next, so Love Live, VA Unit Muse new single with anime movies set for release on March 25th, 2020. What's the news going on here, Rolando?
Yes. So the new announced single for Muse, that was, I think that was back in August where they confirmed this, has been confirmed to release on March 25th, 2020. I don't know why the link doesn't work anymore.
It's up on the screen.
Okay, but yeah, basically the single has been apparently been worked on in secret, and everyone was kind of wondering like, hey, when are they going to release details for it? They just did, so look out for it March 2020.
Kind of related to that, we have some Accords news. So Accords brand new wave in LA concert to be broadcast on TV in Japan. So this was a concert that was held at Anime Expo this year. Rolando, I believe you attended said concert.
Day two.
So looks like they're going. Is it like a rebroadcast?
Yeah, they filmed it. They normally do this for their lives, and
Okay.
I know for a fact that they filmed the one in 2018, and footage of that like appeared sporadically in like Japanese like promotional stuff for their other lives, but this is the first time that like an overseas like in LA concert will be broadcast as like a sort of delayed viewing. So normally like they're delayed viewings for their concerts that happen in different regions in a theater, but this one's just going to be on TV.
Wonder how they'll perceive it, like watching a bunch of like American weebs or whoever went to Anime Expo.
There are a lot of Japanese Love Livers that show up too.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're like, that's me in the crowd over there. You see me?
They were all hanging out by the bar when I was there. Like, I told Mark, I was like, and my other friend, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then I didn't come back for a while. But that's because I definitely just went to the bar and just started drinking.
They were all by the bar, like, man, all these American weebs. God.
Fucking weebs.
They don't know how to do it right.
So for our last piece of Love Live news, the TV anime confirmed for Love Live. I'm going to butcher this. Nichigasaki School Idol Research Club. Also in Nichigaki News, previews for the first subunit singles were released on the official Love Live YouTube channel. So that's kind of exciting.
Check them out.
Anyone jump out? Any unit jump out to you, Rolando? I know we talked about like our kind of like favorite units as we were previewing them, but any songs jump out at you from these previews?
I like the second song, I guess the B-side for what's the name of it? It's like For You or something. Quartz.
That's different.
It's Quartz with a 4.
Yeah.
Their B-side I think is good, but my favorite unit I already knew was going to be Diver Diva, which is the Karin and I subunit. And the first song sounds like it was produced by Yasutaka Nakata, the guy that does like Perfume and Carry Pamu Pamu and Capsule. And then the second song sounds straight like bubblegum K-pop. It's I like their songs.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to the new subgroup or idol group or whatever you want to call them, because I like the character designs, and listening to the previews, I did enjoy them. So I think this will be good. So we got some non-Love Live news here to wrap it up. Warner Brothers removes Akira for the 2021 release slate, and they give their slot to Matrix 4. So instead of an Akira live action, we get Matrix 4, I guess. Sure, I like it that this was like we looked at a like a discussion board on Reddit, and the first comment was everyone knew this wasn't getting made, right?
I didn't believe it was getting made.
Is
I'm
this
just
bait?
like, there's no
Yeah.
fucking way.
Yeah. So
It's just bait.
yeah, that's all right. And then in other movie news, a Power Ranger movie reboot in the works. So if you're a fan of the original Power Rangers, they're rebooting it. I think it's like the 1997 movie they're gonna reboot or something along those lines. But
You'd
hope
have to
it's
ask
good.
Mark. He's a big
Yeah. He's
big
a
Power
go-go
Ranger.
He's a
Power
big fan
Ranger
of the
guy.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rangers,
Yeah.
they power.
All right. I think that's it for news. So let's jump into our happy hour, and we'll start with our Orishiri segment. Each week we go in. We're talking about an old show that we're rewatching, or in this case, watching for the first time. For Alec, so we got Cowboy Bebop, episode 21, Boogie Woogie Feng Shui, and episode 22, Cowboy Funk. So we'll start with Boogie Woogie. I kind of made a funny note here. It's the Mars scavenger hunt with feng shui elements. We get a little bit more on Jet and one of his kind of old friends from back when he was working in the police. But just a pretty straightforward episode from start to finish. Anything stand out to you, Alec, watching it for the first time?
No, I mean, I just kind of enjoyed it. It didn't really seem to have anything that. It wasn't plot, at least. Didn't seem to me. We got more backstory behind Jet, right? Yeah, Jet. I don't know what I was gonna call him, but so long as it's not Rex. It's always kind of cool to get like a little backstory. But otherwise, it was just kind of enjoyable to watch. It was cool that they had that battle in hyperspace. That was pretty fun to watch.
Yep.
It's really
Anything
all
to
I
add to
thought.
that, Rolando? It's pretty basic episode. Nothing too crazy going on.
Yeah. This episode was. It felt more like. I want to say it felt a little bit more like your typical space Odyssey type show, kind of like Star Trek or like Stargate or whatever. It's just there's something like there's a mystery to be solved, and then like there's the whole process behind it, and then there's like the action going on, and then they figure it out.
Resolved and
formulaic.
It does
yeah.
remind me of like Star Trek in that they do a lot of that. Oh God, what's going on? Random
Story of the week.
follow.
Sort of deal.
Yeah, fight, resolve, fly off into
Yeah.
space.
Not a bad episode. I think it's interesting and fun to watch, but it's just a little bit more of the same. As we kind of get closer to the end of the show, the next episode though, episode 22, Cowboy Funk, we got Andy. Your boy, your boy Andy, fucking everything up. I think the important thing to, I guess, talk about in this episode is the similarities of Andy and Spike. Similar hairstyle, although the color's different. Somewhat similar personality. Although I guess in this episode they kind of like they pitch you against Andy because he's such an idiot. But I guess if you kind of think about it, if you look at like some of the shit that Spike does, um, depending on how it's like portrayed, like it's always portrayed to us as the viewer as like super badass, even though he's like wrecking all the shit around him. So you can kind of take it both ways. But another, I think, like kind of funny episode. As they resolve the Teddy bomber, kind of going through that. But Alec, any impressions for this one?
No, my favorite part about this episode was the end when he says "See you, space cowboy." That shit cracked me up. I actually laughed because I was like, oh, they've been saying it this whole time, and now this random annoying as fuck cowboy dude does it. But otherwise, I don't know. It felt a lot like the one before it, just kind of like more going on. You kind of see another side of Spike, like you were saying. You can kind of see if it were flipped and you were actually a viewer, like, what's this fucking idiot doing? He just shot up a building and then crashed his plane, and then I don't know. So
Yeah, this one. So I know last week we talked about like Wild Horses and how like it was kind of had a like a Western vibe, kind of like a spaghetti Western. That one, I'm more thinking about it. It feels more like a modern Western inspired, like spaghetti Western inspired Hollywood film, and this is like the spaghetti Western episode. Like
Yeah,
the whole
I agree.
sequence at the end with the fight between Andy and Spike is like almost ripped straight from like a Sergio Leone movie. It's the fucking theme for Andy is just almost exactly Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's just it's very like I want to say impressionistic. Like there's a specific flair to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You get like some of the comedy elements kind of thrown in there too, like the horse just like fucking shows up like everywhere
on the top of a building.
It's just like up the elevators. Oh, there's the horse.
Here's the horse.
It's time to get out of here.
And then how do they get down on the horse?
Yeah, right. You get some of the ridiculousness of that. You get the obviously like stupid character. He's like, you're the one causing all these problems. Like, no, the dude like literally has bombs and like timers strapped to him. It's probably that guy. Nope. And then shit happens.
Faces are unreliable.
I definitely agree with you, Rolando. This is the spaghetti western, whereas before it was kind of like a blend of like the modern spaghetti western style. So I definitely agree with that. We're getting closer to the end of this. 26 episodes total, right? So yeah, we're
at 20.
22.
Yes, 22.
Yeah. So two more weeks before we finish this up. I guess now, like where we're at, Alec, are you like satisfied with the show? Are you like still like I want to watch more every week when we're stopping at 2, or
he wants to watch it all over again.
I still want to watch more. I want more plot. And I don't know, I just want more. Like, I like these entertaining ones, but I really like the ones where we get that backstory with like Spike and the Julia and that whole mystery. Faye's backstory was really cool. We've gotten a little bit of Jet. Of the 3 characters, I find him to be like the one I'm least interested in, his like backstory overall. He has a cool backstory, but it's just, I don't know. I think FaZe is more interesting with the whole like amnesia. You can really sympathize with her. And then Spike's is just so mysterious that you kind of know what's going on at all and who these people are and where they went and what's happening. So I really want more of that information about all of that. But yeah.
Well, you'll get your
and
wish.
more Ein. I want more Ein.
God, you just reminding me of when in Boogie Woogie Feng Shui, when Ed runs up and says, "Are you Jet's girlfriend?" and then he turns around and looks at Faye and Spike, and then they both turn away like, huh, what? Just like whistling. And then Ein turns away and just starts walking away. Oh god.
And then
Ein's
Ein's
the
the
best.
best.
I gotta say something for Mark, because Mark always points out when you just know that Ein is smarter than he lets on. He grabs the little rock when they're all like, what do we do with it? And then brings it over the thing. So just clearly knowing more than everybody else in the room.
Ein's so sick.
He's the
such a
best.
sick dog.
Best dog. You feel so stupid having that dog, but that'd be kind of cool. Man, I
Who
got the
cares?
smartest dog.
I'd be
I'm
like, I have
fucking
the smartest dog in the world.
Yeah,
I'm a
exactly.
fucking idiot.
In the universe.
In the universe. He's
The
probably
galaxy.
the
And
smartest being.
the cool thing about Ian too is like he wouldn't be an asshole about it. He'd like, as long as you're like cool with him, he'd be like, yeah, let's like,
Like,
It's
yeah,
like, give
bro.
me food.
Let's hang out.
yeah,
Give me food.
Let me eat.
yeah, we're cool, we cool, we cool.
We cool, homie.
No bean sprouts, please. Just give me food.
Scratch my belly.
So, so 2 more weeks of Bebop, and I know we're gonna start talking about or thinking about premieres for the winter season. So we got to also start thinking about another show for our Orishiri segment. So
We got a
have,
list.
we have a list up, so we'll kind of go over that. Kind of before we get into the last like couple shows, I did want to update you guys. I started watching JoJo again. We gotta watch JoJo, dude. It's so ridiculous.
Add it to the list.
God, it's too long. It's too long to
too
do in a
long
segment
to-
like this.
yeah.
But man, I don't know. I go in like short spurts of JoJo because it can be like a lot all at once. But man, like Joseph Joestar is like one of the like most ridiculous funny characters ever. Like,
Oh, you mean JoJo?
Yeah.
Well,
Joseph
he's one of the
Joestar.
JoJos. There's multiple JoJos, but he's the second generation JoJo. Anyway, that show's so sick. Moving on, let's jump into some of our currently airing shows. We had a lot to say about Shokugeki last week. I know Rolando has more to say about Shokugeki this week. So let's jump right into it. Rolando, what do you think about Soma making a main dish because that's the only way to win?
I think it's stupid. So if this were an actual like competition show, he would immediately get disqualified for his dish for not following the directions. Like it's not a taste competition like solely. Like you have to follow the rules. Like this isn't like, oh, I'm gonna make like your theme is dessert. All right, well, I'm just gonna make this fucking steak and lobster and no, like you have to follow.
Interpretation.
Like the part of the
Made
whole
lobster
deal
dessert.
is that there are constraints, and then you're supposed to work with those constraints and make the best dish you can. And he makes
You
a fucking
don't-
main dish for an appetizer. You can't fucking do that. Like it's just stupid.
You don't like just get to make the main dish and say, I made the main dish because that's the only way that we're gonna win. And like
Your
I
main
hate
dish sucks. You better have a shokugeki with me.
I hate director Nakiri, but like he makes the perfect point. He's like, bitch, you fucking made an appetizer. You didn't even follow the fucking rules. Like come on.
It's gonna
The
be
fact
some.
that he didn't straight disqualify it right
Yeah,
there, like, is
It's gonna be
fucking
some
insane.
nonsense where he goes, "Oh my god, this boy pushed my
just
daughter
light
to this limit, to this level."
Yeah.
oh my god,
I
she made a
can't-
dish that
I
made
can't
this look
expel
like
you.
an appetizer. It's a fucking meat roll on a bone. Like, what is
Yeah. It's gonna be a tower instead of like the girl who made the tower of cupcakes. It's gonna be just a tower of meat, just
if
big tower of meat.
if he like plated it differently in a way that made it seem like an appetizer, this would be different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause,
but
I mean,
he didn't, because
He didn't.
This
Well,
is the only way
he-
to win.
It was essentially a
Obviously.
bacon wrapped pate, which is something that you can't serve as an appetizer. However,
make
he
it
decided
little.
to stick 2 bones into it and have them eat it like they were fucking cavemen. Like,
The caveman appetizer. This is a caveman full course meal. So the next one is just gonna be an even bigger slab of meat on a bone.
Jesus Christ, this show.
You gotta
And-
whet
and
your
this-
appetite with all of the dressings of the animal, and then now you're moving on to the actual Meat.
And so I was talking to Hobo, who has completed reading the manga of the show, and just like we like to talk shit about it like as it starts to air, and he hadn't watched it yet, so I mentioned it's like, yeah, shitty Shokugeki this week, and he's like, how far did they get within for the final battle? And I'm like, you know, they got through fucking Rindo, they did
Tsukasa.
I can't remember his name because he's such a stupid character. It doesn't even matter.
Tsukasa.
And then all the way to Soma, he's like, wait, what? He was like shocked. I'm like, yeah, they just like rushed through it. That's like all they've been doing.
Because this is the last season. Let's be honest.
Right. And so like I guess it like took like a much longer period of time, it was more drawn out in the actual manga. So he was like super shocked. It's like they're just like, end it, just like kill me, like get it over with.
I poisoned you a little bit to enhance the flavor.
Oh, well, and ants. There were ants in there.
I was curious, and apparently some people do like use ants because of their that acid or whatever that's actually a poison. Apparently different concentrations. I googled it because I was like, this has to be bullshit. And different concentrations come through in different ants, which can make them taste like lemongrass, or some of them taste super bitter, and then all these varying flavors of ants.
That is something I will give this show, is like the actual like credibility for like a lot of the recipes and techniques that they use are like legit.
Not all of them.
A lot of them.
Not all of them. Especially in this arc.
I'll say a good majority of them.
I mean, like the roses,
but
the rose apples.
I would put that, yeah.
The perfect rose apples and the untastable clams.
Clams on clams with miso in clams.
Magic. But ants, yeah, real deal. I googled it. I was curious.
All right, let's leave this show alone.
Yeah, it's garbage. It's not good.
We clearly feel some kind of way about it.
I watch it while I eat, so I have something else to do while I watch it.
There you go.
Yeah, and he's fluent in Japanese, so he doesn't need to read the subtitles.
Oh,
nope, you're right. I am.
Excellent. Moving on. Let's talk. We want to talk. We'll briefly mention My Hero because we all really liked the episode this week. Although that they're in terms of plot, there wasn't much that went on. But the Fat Gum, Red Riot, kind of resolution of their fight was pretty sick. Got fat turned into power, turned into skinny Fat Gum. So
he's not fat anymore.
He's not.
He's skinny gum.
He's just gum.
Yeah. He's just gum.
He's a beautiful blonde baby boy now. So
nice, with no hoodie.
That's true.
What was the purpose of the hoodie exactly?
To keep the fat in.
Maybe it's the only thing that would fit.
It's armor.
Oh, it's armor.
It's like double
elastic armor.
Elastic armor. Wow. Spandex.
So we get more of My Hero next week. Glad we're all caught up. Glad I'm caught up. You guys were already caught up.
Yeah, finally, dude. I'm just
I need to stop watching JoJo and watch Demon Slayer because everyone's on my case.
Demon Slayer is so
watch
good.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah. I might put JoJo on hold and finish that up. But,
you could finish it and then go back to JoJo. JoJo will always be there. And still be long.
Demon Slayer, it doesn't have as many episodes.
It's good.
Yeah. So Fire Force, we get the defeat of Lisa, and Dr. Giovanni runs away. We also get I almost called him Soma. Shinra and Sho, we get like their first confrontation, and Sho, I guess, can manipulate universes because he gets so hot that he freezes time or something. Is that
he expands the universe?
This right?
I believe it's he creates so much energy with his heat that he's
Yeah.
able to manipulate space-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said
that's right.
he expands the universe.
expands
with
the
heat
universe.
that he makes. So, and then
So
it comes back.
he expands the fabric of space-time, and so it feels like time has stopped, but no, everything around
just
him just
outside of-
expanded. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like outside of
He's
our
out- yeah.
universe, but can still affect our universe. Is how I kind
And
of
then it
interpret that, which is
snaps back. To
kind of
reality.
OP, a little bit.
A little bit.
Who knew that you only needed to be a third generation?
Yeah, third generation
Ooh.
child.
Fire
with it
An
with this
8-year-old.
special,
Yeah.
super special characteristic that these two people have, and they're the only two people that have it, and they're also related, and they're also gonna like restart the combustion event.
I bet you the
Which is-
mom is like alive. She's
Oh,
the
for sure.
evangelist.
She's the
or some shit.
evangelist.
It gotta be like
And
you
the-
know
It's
that they're
Lisa.
gonna pull some stupid bullshit like that.
And the squad one captain is like their dad or some shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
100%, 100%. You know that it's gonna be something exactly like that.
Oh my gosh.
What was
I don't
with
know. What
his
do you,
face,
do you-
though?
Yeah, he had like crazy like demon
Crazy
fire
eyes,
scratches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and the whole like Aldola burst or whatever, and like when they had him like experiencing it, I guess as they like got closer or whatever, it's kind of creepy. But I thought the visuals were pretty cool.
Yeah, with the
It's like the-
footprints.
It reminds me of like necromancy lore. Anytime you see that, you see like the creepy like bones like creeping around and stuff like that. Kind of reminded me something of that. But
It was cool.
I don't know. Is this show still enjoyable for y'all? I like for me, it's still like decent to watch. I don't regret or like dread watching it every week. It's just kind of, it's not as good as I thought. I think we all thought it was gonna be, but it's like still decent.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like My Hero or Demon Slayer, which I would say are like the shonen shows that are currently going on.
It's good.
What about Naruto's dad?
No, thank you.
No.
I have to catch up on way too much Naruto to watch Naruto's dad. Naruto's son. I think it's slowed down too much for me. Like, it has action, but the action is just kind of short, and sometimes I'm not even satisfied by it. I think the most satisfying fight to watch recently for me was the one with the lieutenant, where he was
the
shooting
last episode.
yeah,
With the
yeah.
guns, yeah.
with the guns. That one was really
cool.
cool. But before that, I haven't really felt like a fight was really cool at all.
Yeah, this whole like underground sort of arc or whatever you want to call it has been pretty neat because you get like you have the training montage, everyone kind of leveled up, and so now you get to see like the fruits of their training or whatever. So I think that's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
All
But
right.
yeah, it's worth watching. It's fun. It's not as good, but it's fun. Yeah.
Next is a show that Rolando and I are not watching, but Alec updates us every week with the kind of shenanigans that are going on. So I think this is the finale of Dr. Stone, of at least for season 1. It does have a confirmed season 2, which I
Good.
don't
Gonna watch
don't
it.
get that. But we get more memes out of it. So Alec, do you want to fill us in what kind of nonsense that happened
Yeah.
this last episode?
So this week, first they finished the cell phone at the end of the last week, and and then they have a new cell phone. Really, it's just a speaker connected to a bunch of batteries, and it's massive. And then
iPhone.
and then they don't actually have any of that.
They're developing
But
apps.
then he goes, "Oh crap. We have to build another one. Otherwise this doesn't work as a cell phone." And then everyone's like, "Oh no, we have to have two." And he's like, "Ha ha ha." Yeah. And so
How can we communicate with only one?
in the meantime, instead of making another cell phone, they just run a wire with a megaphone to go
cup?
show them this is how it works. And then they talk between and
Christ.
and so then
They get two cups.
yeah, they get 2 cups. That's essentially what they were doing.
Wow, they got 2 cups
yeah, they
and a
got
string.
2 cups and a string.
Wow, that's
and-
amazing.
Unbelievable.
And then there's randomly a part of the 100 Tales or whatever, the thing that Senku's dad passed down to the villagers so they know about stuff.
From space, by the way.
From space. Story number 14, specifically, number 14, and 2 kids figure it out, is basically saying that go to the what is it, the graveyard of the founders, and go stick a needle in the first founder's tombstone. And so they go take the tombstone, and the guy is about to smash it open. He's like, no, we need someone with speed and power. So the girl comes out and goes and just like hammers the shit out of this tombstone, which appears to be,
please?
which turns out to just be a hollow concrete tombstone with a glass record in it. And so apparently the NASA astronauts decided that they were going to take a glass bottom of a bottle and turn it into a record and record the girl who was on the space station singing, so that thousands of years later they would have music. And that's what happened this episode. So they built a record player.
And they sent it to space afterwards, right?
Yeah, and then they sent it to space.
Nice.
They recorded it. Apparently, they used some lady's diamond ring to cut the grooves in the glass record player. Yeah, and then they wrapped it in aluminum foil, put it in concrete, and then set it there for 3,000 years. And it was totally fine. Sounded great. Everyone was crying. And that's Dr. Stone.
So this show sucks, but this segment is easily my favorite segment of the week. And if this was truly the finale, I'm sad that this is going away. But maybe Alec, we'll have you find another meme show to watch this week, and enlighten us on the
love these meme
goings-ons.
shows.
Yeah, man.
They're so dumb.
What a dumb fucking show. I don't know how it's so popular. Everyone loves it though. It's like the stupidest thing ever.
I have no idea.
Anyway, sorry if you like Dr. Stone. I tried it. Rolanda, you tried it for a few episodes.
I thought it was good for the first couple of episodes.
Yeah,
it was
good for a while, and then it just became memey and like super ridiculous.
And they have the word meme in their vocabulary.
Yeah,
3,000 years later.
3,000 years later,
because of the
thanks to those
100
damn
tales from
astronauts.
space.
That's right. They had to include memes.
Which, don't ask me how they populated this village of like 150 people. There were 6 people in the space station, and they had like 5 kids total.
Each. And then each of those kids had 5 kids.
Yeah. And then they just kept having kids with their kids, and that's a lot of incest.
How since the gene pool is diluted so much, like how are those children?
They look.
Do they have any
funny.
deficiencies?
They're like really short, actually. I think they're like extra short. There's a couple of them that are tall, but the rest are pretty short.
Anyway,
they lost the height gene.
Well, thank you, Alec, for that lovely Dr. Stone segment. Moving on, any other shows anyone's watching that they want to report out on? I know Rolando and I are watching Orsky. It's a good episode this week.
I haven't seen it.
I'll give you a little hint. The bench gets reintroduced, so we get a little bit of that. I like the show, but yeah, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit next week. But any other show you guys are watching?
Did you watch Hoshiai, Alec?
Yeah, I was gonna say. What do you think?
Was it Shinjo, the club president or whatever?
Like, yeah, orange hair.
He's definitely got some shit going on. Like it feels like he's gonna like snap.
Yeah, him and mommy issues. I can't remember.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
gray hair with dead eyes.
The one that all of a sudden was able to play in the match, even though his mom was like, "You got to go to cram school."
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I'm here." He seems like he's just gonna stab somebody with his chopsticks and just.
Yeah. Well, I thought he killed that dude's little sister.
Oh my god, I did too. That actually like made me
That,
tense
like,
up. It
I
was
was so
really
scared.
good, but I was like, because he went in there and he just looked at her and he's like, it's her fault, it's her
And
fault.
he had
And then
that dead look in his
and I was
eyes.
like, oh my god, he's gonna like beat her to death.
He's
Oh
gonna
my
like
god.
strangle her.
And then
like,
he just
oh my
like
God.
leaves and locks the door. I'm like, oh my god, he killed her. He fucking killed her. Oh my god. I was like, I don't normally vocalize when I'm watching a show alone, but on this one I was like, oh my god, she's dead. Oh, she's dead. But I guess the show can't get that dark.
Oh, and then the dude's dad knocks him down
Yeah.
the stairs and he breaks his
slaps
wrist.
him down the stairs. Fractures his wrist.
This show is just like basically the show is if
How
you
not to
took the
parent.
worst parents in the world and just put them in here, and that's this show. Like they all happen to be the parents of all of the people in this
The
soft
light
tennis
tennis
club.
Except a
club,
couple.
yeah.
The Maki, his mom
Maki's
is good,
mom.
but his dad is
His
fucking
dad is a piece
terrible.
of shit.
His dad's a piece of shit. But the kid who's adopted, his parents are just like
His parents
super
are, yeah.
overbearing and like overprotective, and they're like, "Be careful, don't get hurt." But they're like, "We're so proud of you." They're good parents. And then
No, that's not the adopted kid.
I thought
The
it
adopted
was.
kid was the guy with the orange-ish.
Oh well, the other
hair.
guy is adopted too. Remember in the show, this most recent episode, they like knelt down and they were like, we got to talk about your birth mother. She wants to meet you." And that was the kid who they don't want to get hurt. And then the orange-haired kid is also seems like he's adopted.
I thought that was the kid that had the parents talking to him.
I thought it was like a brown-haired kid, not the partner of the kid with the fractured wrist. Oh, fuck.
No, the guy that I forgot what he actually looks like, but he's the one that
He's paired with Crazy Eyes.
no, not that one.
That's the only other guy. Otherwise, there's Secretary Dude. They have nicknames. There's Secretary Dude, Captain Bro, Maki, Fractured Wrist Guy. Yeah, he's got
No, hold
a
on.
fucked up
Let me
wrist,
pull up-
dude.
Let me
Crazy
pull up
eyes.
the character list and look at their pictures.
Yeah, I gotta look at their pictures now.
Because
My nicknames are for me and me alone. Nobody else will get them.
all right, hold on. Where is the My Anime list? Because
All right.
they put pictures on there.
They do. That's right.
Oh, they don't put pictures for everybody though.
No, they don't. So now, Tsukinose, right? He's Crazy Eyes.
Yeah, he's the
Soga's
crazy
broken
guy.
wrist. Itsuki is, I don't remember his dealio.
It's Futsu Rintaro is the guy that's adopted.
Oh, Lintaro.
Where's Lintalo? Wait, where is he in this picture?
Because the guy that's paired with now is Taiyo Ishigami. And he's the one with the
Wait,
overbearing
Where's the one
parents.
you're talking about?
Did you go to more characters?
Oh, there we go. I was like, where's the button? Here we go.
Because there's also the I think he's the one that's paired with the guy that got hot water poured on him as a baby.
He might be. There is hot water, baby.
Yeah, the guy with the huge scar on his back because his
Yeah.
mom went nuts when he was
I thought it
crying.
was Tayo. No, not Tayo, because he's secretary
Todoroki?
guy, right? Oh no, Tayo. I thought Tayo was the one with the parents who were like, "Don't get hurt." I'm gonna go rewatch it. I don't remember.
Yeah, Taiyo is the guy with the parents that are overbearing.
I thought he was also adopted.
I don't know, because he looks like his mom.
And then Shingo is the other one who might be adopted, or his mom's his stepmom.
Oh yeah, his mom is
It's a stepmom.
is not his real
Mom,
mother.
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
she doesn't like him.
Yeah, because basically parents are fucked up in this show.
Yeah, they're all bad.
Like she doesn't like
I
the
can
kid
tell.
because he's not her real kid. Like I don't There's not much it's ironic that the only good set of parents are, I mean, I guess the overbearing parents are still like good parents, but like the Futsu Rintaro, his parents, they're his adoptive parents, but they like show that they really love him. But like he feels like indifferent about it because he's adopted or whatever. He feels like he's not good. He's like got self-worth issues. Like
That's fair.
so yeah,
And then
everyone's
everybody's
got, issues
got
in this show.
problems. Yeah.
Everyone's got problems.
Everybody. It sounds like everybody has problems. in this
Yeah, we
show.
got crazy eyes, burn back.
I don't know.
broken
I
wrist.
like it though.
It's a good show.
It's a good show to
It's
watch.
just really dark,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew that soft tennis would be so interesting?
right? I'm
Yeah,
gonna start calling Crazy Eyes chopsticks instead of Crazy Eyes because he's
Chopsticks,
gonna
yeah.
kill someone with chopsticks.
If I had to guess, like just from reading the synopsis of the show, if it would have turned this way, I would have never guessed that. So
I didn't either. Not in the least.
No, I don't think anybody.
I thought
expects-
maybe it would go like a little yaoi, but
Also, the opening
Not
and
this.
ending songs are really good for this show.
a banger. I'll have to listen.
they're good.
I'm a fan of good OPs.
And they make okonomiyaki noodles.
Okinawan noodles.
Okinawan. There we go. Okonomiyaki noodles. Yeah.
You like chop up octopus, like they put it in a food processor and like refine it and then like incorporate it into like noodle.
That sounds pretty good.
Like, all right,
Let's make it.
Yeah, that
dope.
sounds like an interesting thing to do.
Sounds dope.
Yeah.
That may also be because I am feeling this beer. This Dippa is getting to me, boys. But
It's hitting you.
I'm working my way. I've been going slow, like purposely. Like I want to drink it faster, but if I do, like I'll die. So not gonna do that. Any other shows before we wrap up this episode?
Mm-mm.
All right. So as I mentioned earlier, let's start thinking about, well, I can't take credit for it because Rolando actually brought it up, but let's start thinking about winter premieres. I think there's a couple lists out that we can start taking a look at, and kind of like last season, we'll divide it up. Each person will be responsible for a couple of shows. We'll bring it back to the group and pick a few 2-3 episode rule. I think that worked out pretty well this time, so we'll be doing that. Also got to think about another Orshiri segment. We have a list, and it's actually interesting. We had him as a guest, the Irish Goodnight, in chat, watching some Madoka. That would be a dope one to rewatch. Alec, have you watched Madoka? I feel we had this conversation before. You have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, that would be,
In the binge.
that'd be a good one.
We'll need to have Ian back on for the end of
Madoka
Cowboy
segment.
Bebop.
And the end
Bebop.
of B
That
Stars.
too. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
We also need to think about end of the year awards
Mm-hmm. For sure.
because we can't just let Crunchyroll take all the glory.
Yeah, we got to have our own stake in this.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a couple ideas of shows that I think are in the top, but yeah, I think we should go back and reminisce, at least on the shows that we watched and what we think should be near the top of that list. So be thinking about that. Other than that, though, this has been another episode of Anime on Draft. So episode 129. Thanks for joining us. If you were in the chat, appreciate you being here live, especially on a Monday a little bit later. If you want any updates for us, make sure you follow us and turn on your notifications. Get that notification when we're going live sent to your email. We also generally update our Twitter at Anime on Draft. Make sure you follow us there. Instagram, Anime on Draft Podcast. See what we're drinking during the week. Usually some pictures, some nice beers. So check that out. If you can't join us here on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Anime on Draft, we have our VODs up, but also be sure to check us out on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just search for Anime on Draft. We should be there. If you happen to like the product, go ahead, leave yours a rating up to 5 stars, maybe even leave a comment. It really helps with our visibility, so we'd appreciate it if you did that. So SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, etc. We're also on YouTube, upload the VODs there. So if you didn't catch us live on Twitch, you can also head over to YouTube to watch us there. Any topics you want to reach out, hit us up on any of the above places. Slide into the DMs at Anime on Draft on Twitter, or send us an email, animeondraft@gmail.com. Did I miss anything? Did I miss any of the promotion? I think we're
I
good.
think that's all of it.
So yeah,
Good.
With that said, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we will catch you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I want to watch Madoka now.
Oh, nice.
Madoka's so sick.